Wake that ass up.
Early in the morning.
The Breakfast Club.
Morning, everybody. It's DJ NV, Jess Hilarious, Charlamagne the Guy. We are the Breakfast Club. Lauren LaRosa is here as well. And we got a special guest in the building.
The legendary
Tasha Smith, ladies and gentlemen. She's back. Welcome.
Good morning, Tasha.
Guys. How you feeling?
I feel amazing. I feel like I'm at home. I feel like
You
I'm
are.
with family.
You
I
are.
love you guys. I appreciate you guys. Your voice, what you do, I just really appreciate
Oh,
you.
thank you.
Seriously.
You are one of the most underrated people in this business. You do not get the credit you deserve. For like the way you pour into people and the stars that you've helped become stars. I don't even know if people understand that part of it.
Everybody's story is Tasha Smith
Tasha
did
Smith.
it first.
That's
Tasha
right.
Smith told me.
Well, speaking of pouring into people, I don't know if you know this, but right before Tasha walked in, Lauren was fixing a wig and, almost pouring.
Yeah. So
God.
she was asking Tasha for tips because Tasha be fly all the time. I get it.
Go ahead.
Oh,
You
I'm sorry.
just came in here and started matching today.
That's
now
all right.
now
Sorry.
you talking about being
Not-
fly.
not about the
You
wig
just
stuff.
showed up
Okay.
with the same color face.
But she was fixing a wig and kind of like wiping her eyes, like she was tearing up. And I said, what was happening? She was like, when I left TMZ, the one person I called was Tasha Smith.
Oh, my goodness.
So you want to explain
What
the story,
happened,
what you telling me?
Lauren?
I think I texted you and I was like, hey, I'm thinking about leaving my job. See?
See, fixed the wig crying. I told you.
I was like, I'm thinking about leaving my
eyelashes
job.
ain't glued in correctly.
I don't
start
have on
crying.
lashes today. Shut up. I was like, I think about leaving my job, but just wanted to talk to somebody that like understands like, career and like, longevity in it. We had met and we talked before, but I was just like, everybody has like such a great story of like how your perception of them and kind of what you see for them. And I was like, I don't really know who I can call and I trust right now. And I reached out to you, I texted you, and you sent me a voice note back. And I remember I was driving into my garage and I pulled over and was listening to the voice note and you were like, whatever it is you're feeling, do it. You are a star. You're going to be great. Don't be scared. Do it. And let me know when it's done. And here I am.
I am so proud of you. Can I just tell you that? I am so proud of you. When I saw everything that was going on, I was literally singing your praises to have the courage and boldness to make a decision to live your life in the way that you saw it. And I'm so proud that you took that leap of faith. And it's something, I got to share something with y'all because when I was like meditating last night and I was thinking about you and I was thinking about Jess, not trying to but y'all are both my girls.
Yes.
I played Jess's mom, on a TV show, and y'all are my babies. And when I think about just us as Black women and just how powerful and unique we are, I was meditating and I was like, what is it that I can say to women? And do you mind if I just share this?
Share.
Because okay, so what I ended up writing down was you are not in competition. You're in community. And us as women, sometimes we think we're in competition, but we're not in competition. We're in community, right? And also your light doesn't dim because someone else is shining. Like, it's not going to dim our light to let someone else shine. If anything, when all of us are walking in the room together, allowing ourselves to shine, that room becomes even brighter, okay? The other thing I thought about, and this was you and Jess, is that every woman is uniquely designed. I was thinking about my girls over here. That's Monique. That is my girl, Venetia. And I'm like, look at how individual they are. Look at how individual we are. We're all unique. We're all different, right? But we don't have to fear about anybody taking up space because there's room for every shade of brilliance, okay? The other thing I wrote down was insecurity dissolves when we recognize individually as women our divine design, because we are all designed divinely by God, right? And when we embrace our uniqueness, we give others permission to do the same.
Marianne
so
Williamson.
let's celebrate each other. You know that, right?
Yes,
and
Marianne
let's
Williamson.
allow ourselves to not be afraid of anyone else's light outshining our light, because it can't happen when we walk in who we are. I love you. I love Jess. And I love what both of you are doing. Your voices are so important to our culture and to our women. So let's allow ourselves to remember, and not that you guys feel like this, but this is for all of us women, that we are not in competition. We are in community, period. I just love you.
I love
had
that.
to say that, okay?
Just as you were saying that, I'm reading your arm and it says, trust God.
And dream big.
Ooh.
So these are these were my first 2 tattoos that I ever got, right? Because, and I always say this, you may have heard me say this before, that we have to dream big, right? And how whatever our dreams are, it's not a figment of our imagination, but God showing us a glimpse of our future. And even you deciding to leave where you were, that was something that God placed in you, saying it's time to move. And a lot of times we get comfortable and complacent with where we are, but God's not always feeding us in the place that we've already been. And in order for us to get that new food that God has for us, we got to make moves and go into areas that we're unsure of. But that's where our faith lies. And that's where we end up experiencing God in a whole nother way. Could you imagine if you did not leave? You wouldn't be experiencing God the way that you are now in your life. So I'm excited. Let's go, okay? Seriously.
I love it.
Oh, my God.
You know what I want to ask Tasha, because you're making me
Yes.
think right now. Who did that for you? What you just did for Lauren and Jess, who did that for you when you was on the come
And you
up?
do it without it's just you. Like the first time I met you, I don't even remember if it was at I don't think it was Ern's party, but the first time I met you, our first interaction, I was just like, she's really like, this is just her. Like if you just pour in like effortlessly, like who taught you to do that?
You know what? And a lot of people, and I'll tell, it's 2 things I want to share. One is I remember a while ago, and I think I've told you about, you know, the time I had gotten born again, and, you know, I went to ministry school, and I thought, oh, one day I'm going to be a preacher or something like that. But I realized that my ministry is what I'm doing, like is me teaching acting, me empowering other people to pursue their purpose, my acting, my directing, you know, being a good leader. Like those are the things that I learned that I feel like I could utilize those gifts in the world that I'm in within this industry.
Yeah.
As far as other people that have done that for me, I'm going to be honest, Angela Bassett and Marianne Jean-Baptiste. I don't know if you're familiar with Marianne Jean-Baptiste, but she's an amazing actress from England. You know, she's in a film right now called Hard Truths. And she was she was nominated for an Oscar years ago called Secrets and Lies, but she's a brilliant actress from the UK. And I remember I was on a series, and I never even shared this out loud. I've never shared this publicly, but I feel it, I'm gonna share it. I was on a show called For Better or Worse, and I was tired of doing the show. I just felt like God had more for me. Although it was a blessing at the time and I had a good time and it was a wonderful thing, but in my spirit, I kept feeling like my voice isn't being heard as far as my artistic voice in a way that I feel like it could be. And, you know, I was making money. It was cool, whatever. But I said, but I feel like I have to go. And she was someone that I made that call to. The way you talk to me, she was the one that talked to me like that and said, go and pursue your dreams. Go and do what you desire to do. You would act for free. You would be in acting class acting for free. Go and pursue what's in your heart. And when I quit For Better or Worse, because I did, I ended up going, and that's when I started really pursuing my directing, and I made space for my directing. So me walking out of that space, not only did I end up like getting Empire, which gave me a whole nother rhythm of acting that I could experience, but that's also the birth of my directing career. Wow. It was me taking that leap of faith. And now I have this whole new, you know, like career opportunity and all of that stuff. But it was from me making that one move that seemed crazy to everybody else.
I didn't even tell nobody. They didn't even know when I came in here. I had already had the guest hosting schedule. I didn't tell my mom. I didn't tell my grandmother. And because I didn't want to hear nobody tell me not to do it.
Right.
I just quit and then drove home.
I love it.
And then I came here.
And isn't that deep how sometimes you can't tell everybody your move or your dream? Because think about it. Sometimes when you want to do something that might seem crazy to others, people will give you advice based on their own fear and their own insecurity. Like, just because you ain't got the faith to go, don't project that on me. So sometimes, no, you got to keep your move silent sometimes because other people will discourage you out of what's in your heart to do. So I'm happy for you, sis.
What's your thoughts on, a lot of people say that it's difficult for women to work with each other, and this is where this situation came from. And they say that women are always in competition and there's not enough community. What's your thoughts on that?
Yeah, it's what I was sharing. You know what I mean? I feel like sometimes us as women, they think it's about being competitive. They think that just because someone else is shining, it's going to dim my light, when that's not the truth. Like, if we allow ourselves to embrace our uniqueness and our individuality, we will encourage other people to embrace theirs.
Have you had that issue? I'm going to ask that.
I've never been a jealous girl. Like, it's just not how I've been. Like, I've never been like a girl where I'm like mad at somebody else's. I mean, look at me. I'm an acting teacher. Like, and most of the women that I teach, from Mary J. Blige to Andra Day to Michaela Cole to FKA Twigs, I mean, I can go on and on. Like, God has placed some incredible women around me whose lives I got to pour into, but also they pour into my life just through the process of working. They encourage me to dream as big as possible. But I also want to say something about self-love. And that's the thing I feel with some of us women that may cause us to be, insecure or jealous, because you know what jealousy does. It creates division and separation, right? But I feel like the lack of self-love sometimes could create the way that we go out in the world. And if we don't have self-love, then I might be insecure around her or insecure around another person. But if we embrace our self-love, we will allow everybody we will grant people out of love, right, the permission to be who they are. Like, I told my girls today, I said, y'all bitches better get cute today. I'm not even playing. I said, y'all bitches better get cute. My sister Bernicia, she came around me the other day the first day she got here to do my makeup. When I tell you she was covered up, like, she literally covered up her entire body. I was like,
she was
why?
cold?
No, she thought I would be insecure of her being a bad bitch, because sometimes, you know what I'm saying? Like, going around, like, if you come and do some women, if you have insecurity and you see this ass and this little waist and these titties and this fine girl walking in, you'll be like, I'm uncomfortable. But no, I actually love for my girls to be beautiful. I love bad bitches only around me, okay? I just love it. I love it.
Especially when they got all that melanin.
You know
Lord
what
have
I'm
mercy.
saying? But we just have
You're
to.
very beautiful.
Yeah,
Respectfully.
right.
Yeah.
But I just think lack of self-love, and us not allowing ourselves to embrace our individuality and our uniqueness. And the more that we embrace that for ourselves, the more we can allow others to do that. Like, I love, when I think about Taraji, when I think about Angela Bassett, when I think about Janet Jackson, when I think about Naomi Campbell, and these are all my friends, I can't be insecure with bad bitches like that in my life. I'm sorry, because they're all incredible, okay?
I saw you at I think it was a birthday party this year. And your sister was there, and Taraji was there, and
so
Megan Gill was there. Like, you had your whole sisterhood around you.
Oh my God, and it was amazing. We got a chance to celebrate me and my sister's birthday together, and then Niecy's birthday was the next week,
Nash, yeah.
and we went and celebrated her birthday. It was like we were all team Black women on steroids. It was just awesome. It was awesome.
I think one of the biggest things that I learned from this past 2 weeks, with everything that was happening, is how much people are paying attention, because there were so many people that reached out even in private and did what you just did, hey, I want to talk to you, I want to talk to y'all, whatever. And I think it was crazy when it was happening, but now taking a step out of all of it, I'm the people are getting to realize that sisterhood sometimes can look like we might have misunderstandings, and we have to talk about it. We got to figure that out. What has that been like for you in your career? Because we don't hear a lot of y'all stories if there were misunderstandings between you and any of the other girls.
Oh, and best believe it be a lot of misunderstandings. You know what I'm saying? It be a lot of misunderstandings. It be a lot of that. Like, seriously.
And physically, people getting hands put on each other.
Listen, but see, that's why, like, and I'm from Camden, so it's some people I stay away from on purpose.
Oh, my goodness.
No, like, literally.
Pat you
I be
down if
like,
you from Camden.
I know, but seriously,
Oh, my
listen. So, because I always say as nice as I am is as nice as I'm not, right? You know what I mean? And it's some energy I know I just don't flow with. I just don't, because if it's that kind of energy that's coming in, I'm not a mean girl. I don't like mean girls. I don't like it. I don't like seeing women treating each other poorly or badly. It makes me sick. But I'll tell you one thing about me. I have never ran from a fight. Like, I'm not afraid of confrontation, having hard conversations. And most people, they will throw rocks and then hide their hands.
Absolutely.
I don't like that. I don't do that. I'm about that life of having conversations, confronting the situation. Let's sit down and let's talk and let's deal with the discomfort of whatever it is you're feeling. But most of the time, y'all, most people don't want to ever really sit down and talk because they don't want to have to be able to acknowledge what it is that they're internally going through, like whatever their internal struggle is. It's easy for people to run and act like they're a victim, but if people really confronted things and had honest conversations, they would realize that most of the pettiness is not because of something external, but it's because of your own individual internal struggle. And that's what's creating the external problem. It starts within you. Period.
How do you deal with the noise? Because I think even with them to go out of their situation, but it was the noise.
Oh, my God.
It wasn't the interior in this cup. It was the outside people.
Can I tell you,
with dirty mirrors and dirty floors.
Oh, my God.
You don't get noise, though.
Oh, honey, can I just, I try to,
Tasha, you are noise.
I mean,
that's the truth,
I'll
man.
tell you this about noise. It's something you ask about noise. Were we talking about noise? I was just talking to my girls about sometimes it is so important for us to sit in silence, right? Think about when you're on the phone, bro, and it's a lot of noise going on. What do? You be like, hold up, wait a second. Let me step away so that I can hear this call clearly, right? And a lot of times, especially when you think about all the social media and all that stuff, we allow ourselves to stay in the noise and stay listening to the noise when sometimes we might have to put the phone down, be silent, don't listen to anything, because in your silence, that's when you really hear the still small voice of God on the inside of you. But you can't hear God and how God wants to guide you to deal with the situation if you're allowing yourself to constantly listen to the noise. So the way I deal with noise is I try to allow myself to get as silent as possible. You feel me?
I do.
Absolutely, 100%.
I absolutely do.
100%. Have you ever had to get loud with a person? And what does that sound like, Tasha? Because I'm just saying, she
told you she from
already
Camden.
loud. So have you
She told you she from
I know,
Camden.
but listen, she's already loud. So what does getting loud for Tasha?
I mean, is it louder?
Whoa! I put it to you like this. I'm a passionate human.
Okay.
I'm a passionate human.
Okay.
Bruh. And as loud as my goodness is, I put it to you like this. One time I cussed somebody out really bad. And I went to my pastor and I was like, oh my God, I feel so bad. And she said to me, sometimes you gotta meet the enemy's aggression. That the kingdom of heaven suffers violence, but the violence take it by force. And sometimes some people need to get checked.
That's right.
I love it.
So when it's time to get loud, like I said, I don't mind it.
boom.
Boom. I don't mind it.
right.
I don't
That's
mind
right.
it, bro.
That's
I
right.
swear, my loud can be loud. And honestly, when I get loud, people get traumatized. I mean, I'm serious. Like, you know when I said folks to throw rocks and then hide their hands?
Absolutely.
Like, I've had situations like that, and when I've had to check people like that, then they want to go run in the corner and cry and act like that. I'm like, don't cry now, big bad bitch. Don't do it. Big bad bitch, though. You was a big bad bitch, though, okay? Like, don't cry now, boo. Okay, and sometimes it's the seed that you're reaping. Period. You know what the Bible say.
That's right. You reap what you
Whatsoever
sow.
a man soweth, that
That's
he
right.
shall also reap. And sometimes, they reap that ass kicking. I'm just saying.
Is that a Chappelle chain?
Yes.
Okay.
I was going to ask about
You
that. We were
you
actually
see
talking
my
about that
Dave
earlier today.
Chappelle
Yes.
chain, y'all.
Yeah, that's dope.
This was a gift from my brother Dave. I love him so much. He wanted me to. He was happy for me doing the show. He was happy for a lot of the things that's been happening in my life, and this was a gift that he gifted me. And it's not many people that have a Chappelle chain.
That's right.
And I don't know. Do y'all know? Like, I've known Chappelle for like 30 years. Like, we
I didn't know that.
y'all know I used to be a stand-up comic, right?
Yes, I knew
know
that.
Yeah, so I was a stand-up comic. Dave was like, he was literally a mentor at like 18. I'm not gonna lie. When Dave was 18, 19 years old, I call him my big little brother, and he helped me out so much. Like, some of those people, like, and I should have thought of Dave, because Dave was one of those people that always encouraged me, inspired me. Every time anything was happening in my life, I can't tell you how many times I've gotten calls about, I'm proud of you, keep going, keep dreaming. He's such a motivator, and he's been such a blessing in my life. I cannot tell you. So yes, this is a Chappelle chain.
dope.
I love that because, we live in an era where people don't like to represent folks who have assisted them or provided them opportunity or helped them. And I don't understand that. I don't understand resenting somebody that has helped you in some way.
Yeah.
Like, you should rep them.
Exactly.
Yes.
I'm with you on that. Yeah, so I'm repping Dave.
Now, you got a lot going on. I know she got to go fast. We got
Yeah.
to get into some of the
What-
stuff
I
that
want
she's
to start
doing.
with Survival of the Thickest.
There you go.
Yes.
I love that show.
Yes.
But in the newer
Season
seasons,
two.
season 2, you have like, now we're learning more about your character and kind of like you have your own storyline and things of that nature. I know, like, what was the decision to do that? Because it wasn't like that in previous seasons fully. Like, we knew a little bit about what you had going on, but not as much focus.
Well, I mean, I thank God for the writing team that they like focus more on her relationship. And
Yes.
my character, I play a queer woman, right? And I've never been a queer woman before. Okay, I'm just saying. Like, I legit ain't ever been with a woman before. Like, okay, like for real.
So how'd you do your research?
Well, I asked. Look,
How'd you do your
I was
research?
rehearsed.
That's
It was
what you-
no. Let me stop.
Who coaches the acting coach?
Who coached me? Well, the acting teacher I worked with was a guy named Carl Ford, who I love deeply. Okay, Susan Batson's son. I don't know if you guys know Susan, but anyway, so Jerry Johnson, I'll tell y'all this. I directed Harlem, and I directed some beautiful scenes with Jerry and Gail Bean,
Yes.
right? And I was just obsessed. Like, I knew that Survival was coming up, and I was just really pouring into them as a director. But while I was pouring into them, I promise you I was dreaming. I was like saying, God, please bless me with someone like these two women, like the way that they were, and as supportive as they were, as Gail and Jerry were with one another. I wanted to experience that as an actor. So when it was time to see who my love interest was, Jerry was up for the job. So Jerry and I said, Jerry, we gonna get together because what I saw you do with Gail, I really want you to do this part. So she and I got together and we rehearsed. Michelle didn't know this. Nobody knew this. We were rehearsing before her screen test, okay? So that by the time we did our screen test together, our chemistry was incredible. And I said to her, because she's a queer woman, I said, I need you to teach me everything. So the first thing she taught me when we were filming our love scene was how two women had sex. Because when they said it's time for y'all to have sex, bro, I opened up my legs. I literally was like, all right, let's go. I was like, trying to I was like, how y'all do this? How does this happen? And she was like, you really ain't never had a woman. man was like, we do it like this.
Oh.
You know, the little scissor.
The scissor, yes. He had to learn the scissor, yes.
And so I was like, woo, thank God you was here. Because I didn't want to look stupid, sis. Okay.
But it worked out for her because she got the role.
She got the role. And
Oh, that was just rehearsal?
They were building that chemistry before she auditioned. But then they have a sex. This is your first time being on camera in a female sex scene, right?
Well, we had like the first season. I had some makeout scenes and stuff like that. But as far as like having like a
full blown,
that was my first time. But I gotta tell you, working with Jerry, it was just like easy, and it was fun, and it was wonderful, and she was just wonderful. That is my sister for life. Jerry, I'm giving you a shout out. I love you, sis.
Women must try to holler at you all the time now.
You know, I be like, stop.
So when y'all was rehearsing, did you call it a dry run? What was it?
Well, we didn't. We were rehearsing that particular, like, we didn't do that in rehearsal.
Okay.
But that was when we were actually filming the sex scene.
Would you give a woman a try?
Man, cut it out. Don't talk to her like
it's
that.
okay.
Now she's into it now.
It's okay for him to ask me that, but I'm going to just keep it 100, y'all. Like, I'm like a gay man.
What?
I'm like a gay man. What do gay men like? Dick. I mean, I'm not even lying, bro. I am like the gayest man in the world. Like, I am a straight up gay ass man. Like, I just love it too much. Like, I'm not even playing. And I mean, literally, and even if I'm out, if I'm messing with why are y'all so stupid? No, you started it at me. But wait, let me just tell y'all this. All right, I'm about to say something that's like a little. All right, so I like when a man goes down on you, it's great. I love it. But I be like, I'm not a lesbian, so we gotta follow this motherfucker back. You know what I'm saying? With some penis, like. I just, it's just what I like.
Because I've heard people say that women do it better on women because they know what the woman wants. But I be thinking, like, after that, it's like, now, like, you don't want
what's coming after that?
It's like, now,
that's like having a salad, but you can't get the steak. You know what I'm saying? That's just me.
Agree.
Or no dressing.
And okay, but you know what, too? I'll just say this. It's all.
Because I always think about that. Remember how I be having the conversation with studs, and I'm like, so y'all be sucking this. Like, imagine having the strap-on on, and a woman is sucking it, and then the person with the strap-on is moaning. That just sounds like, what is that?
But if that's what you're into, maybe if it feels you. But I be thinking about like girls who are trying it for the first time, or like, they're bi. It's like, so if you're bi, like you're not like. You know what I mean? It's like,
listen.
How do we get here? I'm sorry.
Well, let me tell y'all this. I think it's all about preference. Like, it's all about what you eat. Like, I don't eat.
Literally,
what you eat.
Yes.
But wait. But you know how there are some foods, like some people like chocolate cake, some people like vanilla cake.
Some people like fish.
Right, and some people like fish, some people like steak, right?
Yeah.
I mean, and for me, I just like what I like. And just like you can't like turn a gay man that likes what he likes to have a woman, you know what I mean? You can't turn a straight woman to want something else. I mean, I just like what I like. Okay. But I love, you know what I'm saying? Like, go get yours.
And what about Desiree in A Temptation Story?
Oh, wow. You guys, I'm so excited about that. It's funny because I was showing Monique the trailer.
You love your girls.
I do.
Yeah,
you do.
They my girls, okay? Like, seriously. But I was showing Monique. Well, I was showing you and Bernicia last night. I was like, y'all want to see the trailer, And when Monique saw it, she was like, I've never seen you in a role like that.
Wow.
And so all these like years of being in this industry, I've never gotten a chance to play that role. So shout out to Derek Williams, my producer. I got a chance to produce it with him, and he gave me that script, and I was so happy he gave it to me, and I'm so excited about it. It's a thriller. It's like fun. It's like, and I feel like it helped me tap into things that I've never gotten a chance to really reveal on camera. I feel like I'm just starting acting all over again.
You have a refreshing energy all the time, but I do feel it like you're in a different season or something about you right now. I don't know what it is, but it's there.
I think it's my self-love season, sis.
Love that for you.
You hear me?
Love that for you.
Now, you know who you need to reach out to? Who sang you praises on Shannon Sharp. Charlamagne messes with him all the time.
It's my guy.
Donnell Rawlins.
Do you know how much I love you and Donnell when y'all be doing that little stuff? When he be doing those shows, I mean, sometimes I be texting him saying, leave my brother alone, stop.
You got to call him. He needs your coaching.
I need Donnell to have, I just want Donnell to have more confidence. Like, Donnell is dope.
He's funny.
He's incredible.
He's incredibly.
One of the best.
And y'all remember I put him on BMF.
BMF, yeah.
I swear, I think he is so talented. I cannot wait to work with him again. I swear to God, like he is so interesting. He is so funny. That's a good example as far as like allowing your uniqueness to shine. Like when I think about Dave and Donnell, and I remember I had a conversation with Dave, and it was I'm rephrasing it, but I was like, you know, what makes you work with him? Dave's like, I get sharper when I have to follow someone good. Like he's not always looking for comics that are not good. He looks for comics that are great. That's what challenges him to be great. You know what I'm saying? So greatness around us, it helps stretches us, you know. And Donnell, I love you so much. I love you so much.
He's somebody who needs to silence the noise.
Yes, no, he does.
He needs to silence the noise around him. He's letting all these people get in his head.
He got to calm down.
Yeah.
But I talk to you. I'm going to talk to you, T. You're going to be all right.
He might really
I wanted to ask you something as an acting coach. Like when you have already great talent, right? Because I don't know how often the great talent seeks acting coaches for every role. I don't know if that's a thing. Like, does Denzel seek an acting coach for every role? Does Jonathan Majors seek an acting coach for every role? I don't know.
Well, I mean, I put it to you like this. I don't know individually all the way with as far as how their process is, but it's a lot of us actors that enjoy the collaborative process because it's almost like you want to work with someone that can maybe see things that you can't see. Right. You know what I'm saying? And the process of acting and the process of like researching a character and developing a character, it's a fun process to do with a great coach or teacher. Just because Michael Jordan was a great athlete, it didn't mean that he did not need a great coach.
That's right.
Most of our greatest artists have great coaches. Most of them.
That's right.
Most of them.
So when you have a great actor, you just teach them how to capture that role, not necessarily how to act.
No, it's not about teaching them how to act. It's about us together looking for like all that we can find within the character.
Is it fundamentals? Like redoing the fundamentals?
It's not for me, I'll just say this as a teacher, every process is different. Like it's a very spiritual experience. You know, you have your fundamentals, like your, you know, baseline, right? Like I come from Ivana Chubbuck's school, so we have something called the 12 steps that we do. You know, we have like a base. What is your overall objective, your scene objective, your inner monologue, your inner thoughts, your substitutions, your ops. It's certain things that we are looking for within it. But outside of that baseline, there are other things that come up, character research, physicality, you know what I'm saying? Like all kinds of stuff. So each person is different based on, each character is different, each process is different. And it's like all of it is like an incredible, like spiritual experience. And I always say, as much as you need the character needs you. And everything is on the inside of us. Like all of it is in there. We just got to look for it and find it. And as a coach, I just sometimes is pushing people to trust their instincts more. It could be as simple as that. You know what I mean? But we discover so many things through the process of acting.
Absolutely. I know you got to go, so I have one more question.
I don't want to go, though. I can sit here with y'all all day.
I'd love to have you here all day.
Like, serious. Okay.
Why did I get married again? Where are we?
Honey, again. I'm going to just leave it right there. Girl, I am not talking about that.
Because it's not happening?
Probably not.
Oh, my God.
And it ain't because I'm busy. Tyler take, 3 days to do a movie?
7 days to shoot.
Who ain't got a weekend, Tyler? Who ain't got a weekend? I mean, like, seriously, who ain't got a weekend, all right? Do not get me started.
Man.
You want to do it?
Of course I want to do it.
Why did he troll us like that?
Why he trolled me like that?
So no calls, no nothing has happened.
I refuse to answer any more questions concerning that.
Respectfully, okay.
Because I might get loud.
We've been having all these conversations about community. Do you think community is earned or a right?
I feel like it's earned. Like I remember I had one girl say, I don't have any friends. And I always go back to scripture. I'm like a cussing preacher. No, let me stop. But it's like if you want a friend, you got to show yourself friendly.
That's right.
How do you create relationship?
Right.
How do you create friendship? You have to first allow yourself to give friendship in order to get friendship. And to me, like when I look at like acting, or when I look at, just people, what makes you really valuable? It's not just about your own greatness, but to me, your value becomes based on how you're able to change other people's lives.
That's
To
right.
me, that's what makes you valuable. Like if I can empower somebody else to pursue their purpose, to make money, to feed their family, I just lifted up myself. But not only with that, I've also created community. I love my acting school, TSAW, because, for me, I'm always like what I say to you and everybody else as far as like, we're not in competition, we're in community. Like we are all here together. The brighter we all are individually, the brighter we are in unity. Like, let's go. But I love TSAW because the people that were in class like 15, 20 years ago at my school, I look at their lives now and they are all best friends today. Like when I think about Tabitha Brown, who came out of my school, Natari Spencer, who's like Nafisa Williams, Chastity Saunders. I mean, I can go on, Eamon Joseph, Lance Gross, Tiffany Haddish. But every time we're all in a room together, everybody's like, oh, come on, y'all, it's the family. It's like community. But I feel like we earn that by how we love each other, period.
You just casually threw out.
Word up, man. Tasha,
Like,
Tasha need a Lifetime Achievement
I'm
Award.
trying to
Something
tell
gotta,
you.
BET,
And it's a rite of
somebody gotta
passage.
do something, yo.
When you move to LA, because when you move to LA, they're like, we don't care if you want to act or not. If you're trying to be anywhere in front of people, you need to go to Tasha Smith's class. Like that's how I found out. It was like, this is the thing you do. You do one church and you do TSAW. Like that's what you do as a black creative in LA. But it's so many people, and you're just like,
Yeah,
I
you know
just
what
did
we
that.
call TSAW? We call it the Church of Acting. And I remember one time at class, right? I had left out because I had to go save Sidra in St. Martin. So I was not in class this particular night. But Mr. Denzel Washington had decided to come and visit class.
Wow.
And I wasn't there. I was pissed. But he came to class, and from what the teacher and the students told me, that he was sitting in the back of the class with the hat on. Nobody knew who he was. And in my school, I had just pictures of like every incredible artist I could think of on the walls, because I wanted, when people came into the class, I wanted them to look at the walls and dream. Like I wanted them to see where their life could be, what they could possibly do. And so Kevin, the teacher at the time, he was like talking about that in the class. And then all of a sudden they heard someone say in the back, I better be up on that wall. And then all the students turned around and it was Denzel Washington.
Wow.
Can you believe that? And Denzel's the one that told Mary J. Blige that she should come and study with me. But he ended up staying in that class and he ended up teaching that class for like until like probably went 2 hours over, and it was like so incredible. I don't even know how I got on that story. It was something that was being said, but that was just such a blessing, like to have him there inspiring all the students, and just any opportunity that, you know, we get to pour into other actors in order for them to go and pursue their dreams. Like I see so many of my students that are so wealthy and thriving. Some of them have better careers than me. I've never been nominated for an Oscar. You know what I mean? That's never happened. But I love seeing it happen for Andra Day, for Mary J. Blige, and hopefully Michaela Cole and FKA Twigs with
Do
the
they do
stuff that they
kickbacks?
have coming up. Like, what do you mean?
Like this. Here's this money, Tasha. Here's this car. Here's this jewelry.
You know what? Now this is sad, okay? This is sad, but not, look, I don't look for kickbacks. I put it to you like this. Like my production company is called Camden Bridge, because there was a time I was teaching, and I got a little angry because I felt like people were walking over me all the time. And I remember I heard inside of my spirit that it's okay to be a bridge, that it's okay. A bridge has purpose, right? Sometimes it gets walked over, sometimes it gets driven over, but it's a connector of people, and be focused and be a blessing at being a bridge. So my production company's name is Camden bridge, okay?
That is so powerful. Be a bridge.
Be a bridge. What were we saying? I mean, am I getting old?
No, we were talking about how amazing your class is.
Oh,
kickbacks. Okay, so all right, I have to just be okay with being a bridge. So I don't get it for kickback. But the one person actually, it's a shame. I'm not trying to shame nobody, but the one person that gave me a very big gift was Rebel Wilson. I remember one day Rebel Wilson had hit me up, the white girl.
God damn it, black people.
No, I know, right? But Twigs actually gave me this big crystal for Christmas last year. This big, beautiful, like, she said, here's a little sparkle that you give to the world. And it was like the biggest, most beautiful crystal. Nice. And look, both of them are British. And Rebel, one day she hit me up and said, you have a delivery coming. Make sure you're home. And it was just this huge, gorgeous YSL bag. Wow. Okay, I mean, it was just big, just a huge one. So I know she spent some money on that.
Period.
Okay. Okay.
Well, you know she got to go, but we appreciate
we
you.
love you. We value you. We appreciate you, Tasha Smith.
And thank you so much.
That's right.
Where's Jess?
Where is Jess?
I thought she was going to be here.
She was trying to hang on, but you.
Okay. Well, we love you, Jess. I miss you. Mwah.
It's
all right.
Tasha Smith.
I love you guys.
It's
I
the Breakfast
appreciate
Club.
ya.
Good morning. Thank you.
Wake that ass up.
Early in the morning.
The Breakfast Club.